Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin here in the Soulfully You virtual land, bringing Yoga Soul Flow. I hope you can hear me. I have the sneezes and allergies, so I have that little and I will articulate as well as possible. I'm excited to ground into new energy that we are being given or provided if we're willing to receive. So we are going to work with mutable earth. And in that understanding of mutable earth, right, if just as a reflection and a recollection, we have fire, water, air, and earth. And we have cardinal, mutable, fixed. So creation, sustenance, dissolution, and the four cornerstones. Yoga and Ayurveda include ether or space, but that is ever present and creates the environment in which we can experience. So mutable earth energy is that idea of earth can change, right? Like I heard somebody say this, if it rained and rained and rained, you could create great valleys like the Grand Canyon, right? So earth has the ability to change. It can just be really hard to change. It can be dense and heavy. Like if you try to go dig out in the yard right now, if you like to garden and it's not September, it's August, the earth is really dense. But it can still change, and so we're just initiating this time of change. The moon is void, so we're gonna really look at that transition of the container of our physical body, right? Really the muscular engagement, the density of our bones, the way our muscles, we can actually work our muscles to change the structure of our muscles. And as we allow for that muscular engagement and ground and anchor in, we want to anchor into grace. Hi, Diane. We want to anchor into that revelatory power because we're in this energy of going from mutable water to cardinal fire. So how do you take the compassion, the grace, the energy to pause and hold reverence for all the revelations that are surfacing for you, all the changes that are happening for you, and how can you initiate new energy? Because by this afternoon, if you're watching this live, you'll feel a new sense of motivation, a new sense of enthusiasm. But the fire is going to feel different because there's just not as much fire in the sky. So let's go. We're going to start in child's pose. We're going to move through child's pose, really in our roots and what we're grounding into, and allowing for the feeling of the density of who we are, how we are, the way we're digesting the things of our life, and how we can be of service, how we can bring good forward. Because we can't take care of all the things in the world, but we can take care in the way we care for ourselves and the way we show up in our immediate environment. So we'll start in child's pose. And as always, you hold agency. You are in charge of you. The way you practice, I'm here just to provide guidance. You ultimately are responsible for the choices you make when you're on your mat. So honor yourself, honor limitations, honor ability, and we always call them the highest. That our offering here and our time here is for the highest good, harm to none. We're gonna go for five breaths. And in that cycle of 5, that you can just use those 5 breaths to tap into what does it mean to anchor into grace? When there's so much change, how can you allow yourself to be the container of that service, of that compassion, and how can you find the passion within to move from this space of service? And to all my Virgo friends, it's your month, but we all get Virgo energy right here, right now. Allow your breath to just be as you're in child's pose. Feel the movements,
the change, the adaptability in the breath, and how the body responds to the breath while you're in child's pose. Lots of things to consider. After your fifth exhale, exhale out completely. Stretch your arms out, so stretch your hands out. Get into the foundation, spread through your fingers. As the hands are shoulder width apart, out in front of you, you're gonna inhale and rise up into a nice big cat stretch. So you come up into a cow stretch. I always get them confused. And then pull into the belly, push the hands down so the arm bones feel like they're moving out of the shoulder socket. Round the back into that cat stretch. Tail is tucking. And then inhale, feel the arm bones plugging in, shoulders to your back. The belly's gonna open up, so just feel how even right here, right now, the change from pausing, getting on your mat, being in child's pose, like what are you digesting? What is the body offering to you in these first few cat-cows? Inhale, opening. Exhale, rounding. Now, as you're rounded, stay in that rounded spine, chin to your chest, and you're gonna keep breathing, but stretch the left leg out behind you, ball the foot to the floor, look back at your left foot, stretch the heel back, and then pull the thigh bone, pull your heel forward, pull your hips so they're more aligned over your right knee. The thigh is lifted, the tail is stretched back, draw into the belly, and then inhale your right arm out in front of you. I know, I'm being a little traditional, and I don't usually start this way. Right arm is out in front of you. Now pull the right arm so far forward and stretch the left heel so far back that you feel pulled in too many directions. And then come back to your center, restabilize. Pull the left heel forward, pull the right arm bone in. And then again, stretch the right hand forward, left heel stretches back. So you're overextended, you're going in too many directions, and then plug back in. So it's just a little clearing. We'll just do it one more time. Expanding too far, overextending, and then hugging back into yourself. Sweep the right arm out to the side. So it's out from your shoulder on the horizon, and then we're gonna thread the right arm under the left shoulder, and then take that left foot and swing it out to the side so it helps you balance. You wanna be aware of where the weight is on your head so you're not collapsed into your neck. Re-engage that core. You can come up onto the left fingertips, draw both arm bones in, both thigh bones in, and then feel the physicality of being all twisted. Big inhale in, and a big exhale out. You're gonna slide the left knee in under your left hip. It's gonna change and go into a deeper twist. At least it does for me. Breathe into that depth and feel how much is changing when you're plugging back into yourself. Ground the hand down, left hand, come onto your hands and knees. Exhale, round the back, just clearing out. Inhale, open the heart up, nice arched back. Exhale, round, look back to your belly. Tail is tucked, shoulders are broad on the back, and then stretch your right leg back behind you. Push the ball of the foot to the floor so you feel the muscular engagement. You're gonna stretch the heel back, get into that calf muscle, and then draw that heel over the ball of the foot again, plugging the right thigh in, aligning more fully to the moment you're in, and extend the left hand forward. As the left arm extends forward, again, we're gonna reach the finger and the heel in opposing directions, and then come back, uniting that opposition, plug back into the center. So left heel stretches forward, right heel stretches back. I know it's a little nuanced. And then as you unplug, you can plug back in and reflect. So just disconnecting or overextending and then reconnecting. So that's 3. Take the left hand out to the side. So it's like you're flying, and then thread the needle. Thread the left arm under, be on the back side, and then sweep the right foot around. If you have room, I just ran into my plant. Come onto your right fingertips. If you like, readjust. Breathe into the back line of the body. Notice if you're unplugged and how can you plug back in. Because usually when there's a lot of change, when so much transition, we're overextended. Our systems are tapped, and so we actually have to disconnect to reconnect. And then slide that right knee underneath your hip. Breathe into the back body. Anchor the right hand down, looking to the earth, pull into the core, hands and knees. So you come out of the twist. Find the hands, table pose, round the back, chin to your chest. Last one, inhale, opening the heart. Now stay open this time. Draw the shoulder blades more into the back so your arm bones plug in more. Lift into the belly, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. You can totally pedal your feet out here, but I want you to feel grounded hands, grounded feet, hug to the midline. Arm bones are plugged in, thigh bones are plugged in. You just feel the physicality that you're here. You're going to get things done. You're going to do some good for your inner being and honor all the change that's happening, not just around you, but also inside of you. Big full breath in. Big full breath out. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. There is a certain flow that I love to do during Virgo season. Knees high or low. You're in plank. Exhale all the way down to the earth. Feet point back, hands sweep back. Shoulders drawn to the back. Inhale into lotus pose or Shalabhasana. Arms are lifted, chest is lifted, inner thighs are lifted. Inhale, widen the hands and feet so you just feel more expansive. Exhale, pull back into the center. Hands come under the shoulders, toes tuck, knees push to the earth. So your thigh bones are lifted up off the ground. Pull into the waistline, shoulders drawn to the back. Inhale, the chest up off the floor. Open into cobra pose. So it's like doing a reverse chaturanga, feeling the density of the earth, how hard it is to get up off the ground, but then you can open your heart. You can be of service. You can breathe into the depths of your being, feel this vehicle and how this vehicle can bring goodness forward. Tuck the toes, move back, downward facing dog. We're going to do that 4 more times so you can feel the connection. Inhale, plank, firm, connected, knees high or low, elbows bend all the way to the earth, shoulders draw back, feet sweep back, hands sweep back. Inhale, lifting up off the earth, pause, feel the connection in, and then expand in your own container, right? So you feel the physicality, you're opening as you inhale, your hands and feet go wide, and then you're hugging more fully into that container. Hug back to the midline. Chest stays lifted, hands come under the shoulders. Toes tuck, knees push to the ground. So your heart's getting heavier, and then you push up off of the ground, chaturanga, and then open the heart, cobra. Big full breath in. It's just kind of like a reverse flow. Feeling how heavy the bones can be, right? Downward facing dog. Feel the connection to your breath. Inhale, plank, knees high or low, all the way to the ground. Come all the way to the earth. Feel the support of the earth. Hands reach back, feet point back. Inhale, lift. The feet, the inner thighs, the inner arms, the shoulders are hugging into the back body. Then inhale, hands and feet widen, expanding the midline. Come back to the midline, hugging into that center. Hands under the shoulders, toes tuck, knees bend, thigh bones plug in, tail stretches back. Inhale, chaturanga, open cobra. Of course you could open upward dog. It's just not in my vernacular, my physical vernacular right now. Big breath in. And then exhale, draw into the belly, downward dog. I want you to do the next 2 on your own. Breathe into it. This is the understanding of embodying that physical energy, that mutable earth energy of how we can be in service and how we have to anchor ourselves into grace. Inhale, plank. Move at your own pace, all the way to the earth. Feeling that opening that you can fly. We're learning how to fly. Hands and feet go wide, then pull back in. Tuck the toes. Hands under the shoulders. So you're prepping to lift up. I do knees down right now. To push up from chaturanga. And then you settle back in. This is the anchoring into grace. You settle into being compassionate with yourself, feeling what is needed to care for all that's shifting inside of you, and then igniting that new offering of the heart. Lift up and back, downward dog. It's just a much more grounded salutation. Inhale, plank. Exhale to the earth. Inhale, rise up off the earth, but you're still so connected. Hands under the shoulders, toes tuck. Thigh bones plug in. Core is lifted. Inhale, chaturanga. Open cobra or upward dog. And then move it back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So after 5, we feel all that's changing, right? I hope you can feel that the muscles of your body are starting to say, oh, I get to participate. I'm here to support, to carry the energy of the heart forward in our life. One more breath in downward dog. And there's a motivation. Walk your feet forward. Come all the way to the top edge of your mat into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Connect to your foundation. How are your feet standing? Bow. Inhale, open the heart. So the energy of mutable earth is like that duty. It's the work. It's our habits. So notice your habits here. How are you? Inhale, find length. We're going to do 5. Ardha Uttanasana to Uttanasana. And just notice your habits. Are you in that habit of craving something else? Are you in that habit of always doing things the same way? How we be really matters. And we're always changing. We're always evolving. Last one. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, bow. Keep the belly lifted and just pause here in your standing forward bend. Notice what you're digesting. What's integrating? What's assimilating? Then exhale, bend the knees like you're about to do chair pose, but we're going to do huddle pose. So knees bend deep, heels are on the floor, elbows come to your thighs. As your elbows are on your thighs, your chest is low. I want you to pull into the belly. And notice if your knees are pulling forward, your tail is over tucking. If you're really heavy in the heels of your feet, then your thigh bones are too far back. You want to feel the power of integrating the two opposing actions into the one. Notice how your legs are waking up. Keep the chest forward so your spine is more horizontal towards the earth. Bring the hands to the heart, shoulders drawn to the back. Lift into the belly. We're going to glide our left foot back for a high lunge. Stretch the heel back and then pull all that energy in. Breathe into the back of the heart and inhale, rise. Hands can be at heart center or they can stretch overhead. First thing we've done where the spine is vertical like this. So honor. And then exhale, hands come back to the heart. Hinge at the hips, you lean your chest forward. Shoulders are to the back. We're going to step back in that modified chair. So pull into the belly. Left foot comes forward. You can bring your elbows back to your thighs for a respite if you need. Otherwise, hands stay at the heart center. Shoulders are to the back. Hug to the midline. Lift into the waistline. And then the right foot's going to glide back. As the right foot steps back, notice if your heels stretch too far back. Hug it in. Draw in. Then inhale consciously, intentionally. Notice how the density of the body can change. Inhale, hands to heart center or up overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart. Pull in. Feel the connection, the power. Lean forward. So there's a part of you that's like, oh, we're going to go into warrior 3, which I thought about, but we're going to keep feet on the ground. Step the foot forward. Sit a little deeper. And this time, inhale. Rise all the way up to standing. Straight legs. Arms overhead. Feet grounded. Deep, full breath in. Full breath out. Exhale. Hinge at the hips. Bow all the way down to the earth. It's always interesting that first forward bend from standing. Inhale, find length. And exhale, bow. Bend the knees, step all the way back, downward facing dog. Ground into your hands. We're going to come back to that chair high lunge flow in just a minute. Feel your breath in your dog. Inhale, plank. You can go just chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or go back to that flow all the way to the earth. Hands sweep back, Shalabhasana, lift the heart, hug into that midline. This time, leave out the expansion and pulling back in. Hands under your shoulders, feet ground down. Go straight into Cobra Pose. So leave out the reverse chaturanga, unless you want it because you already did it. Shoulders to the back, open the heart. Now you're going to exhale, bow the heart, lift into the belly. Now find chaturanga and see if you can push yourself up. I'm on my knees, like you're going through plank, all the way back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Bend the right knee. Keep the hips parallel. Hug the arms to the midline. Shoulder blades are on the back. Ribs are drawing towards your hip points. Your inner thighs are moving back. Your outer hips are hugging in. You can feel the trunk of your vessel steady. Inhale, lift through the right inner thigh. Don't open the hip. Keep the leg internally rotated. And of course, if you need to open the hip and clear the hip, go for it. And then exhale, step the foot straight through lunge. So as the right foot steps under the right heel, hug in. Inhale the arms wide this time. Lift the elbows, shoulders to your back. You're going to inhale, lift the chest, clasp the hands behind you. Shoulders to the back, open the heart. Deep breath in. We're going to go from here to tree pose. It may or may not happen for you, okay? So you're going to lunge forward. We know we can step forward. Feel how heavy that left leg is. Step the left knee up to your chest. Find the ankle, foot to the inner thigh. Inhale, Vrikshasana, tree pose. If you fall over, you're human. There's a lot changing, just like this flow. We're going to go from tree pose to eagle. Arms go forward. Bring the left elbow under the right. Wrap the arms, waistline back, bend both knees, cross the left leg over top of the right, sit into Garudasana, eagle pose. Feel how much you might be falling over, or maybe you're super steady. And then from this eagle pose, we're going to glide back into not the high lunge, but warrior one. So I tricked you. Unravel the left leg, glide the left foot back, heel extends. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Eagle arms can stay or you can set them free. Exhale, hands all the way down to the earth. Find your fingertips just extend through the front leg, right? It's so dense, it's so heavy. It had freedom, but then it's been the anchor. What are you anchoring into? Push into that foot, lift into the belly, bow. Downward dog. Bend the front knee, hands ground, all the way back. Stay in your dog pose or go through that flow, right? That reverse flow. Plank all the way to the earth. Inhale, Shalabhasana. And then exhale, hands under the shoulders, feet ground, cobra or upper dog. Now, from the heart opener, sweep the waistline back, inner thighs back, wrap the outer hips. Bend the elbows for chaturanga, and then push out. So I'm just adding the chaturangas because I'm working on my serratus muscles. It's all about me right now, but you can do what you need to do. Your practice needs to be all about you. So downward dog, inhale, left leg lifts. Keep the hips square instead of opening them up. Bend the left knee. Draw into the belly. Hug to the midline. So your right heel, you're getting a huge stretch, grounding that right foot. Lift through the left inner thigh. Enjoy the freedom in that left foot. And then exhale, step it through. Anchor into grace, into that support. You get to define what grace is, right? So you're bowing forward. Pull that energy to the midline. Is that right heel stretching too far back? Can you plug the right thigh in? Draw into the waistline and then widen the hands. Okay, as the hands go wide, arm bones draw in. Feel the connection. You're pulling all that energy and then rising up
Hands clasp behind you. Switch the clasp if possible. Open the heart. Feel the connection. Lunge deeper to the front knee. I even find myself trying to pull too far back. Notice the patterns you tend to drop into, and how can you allow the change while you're anchored in grace. So we're going to step the right knee to the chest. Lunge forward, lean forward. Oh, it's heavy. Pick the knee up. Free the hands. Help the foot land to the upper inner thigh, Vrikshasana. Standing on one foot, solid, strong, but we know there's still a waver, there's still a movement. Instead of denying that change inside of you, know that it's life. Fully alive. You have this container to experience. And you have a practice to embody. And how awesome is that? Hands come forward. Bend both knees. Eagle pose. So thighs pull back. Pull into that waistline. Cross the midline. Right elbow goes underneath the left. Right leg goes over top of the left. Sit into what so many call eagle pose. But feel yourself perched, steady, a higher vantage point. Breathe into that higher center of gravity within yourself, especially if you read my Soul Scopes this month. It's talking about having that higher center of gravity. And then from here, we're going to glide into Warrior One. So unravel the right leg. It glides back. The heel's there. And then once the feet have landed, you can feel how you can change. You've grounded in, you've anchored in. Either keep eagle arms or set the arms free. The embodiment you're experiencing today is probably different than the last time you were on your mat. Let go of the criticism and awaken the way your practice is serving you, as well as the way you can serve your practice. Exhale, free the hands all the way to the earth. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Still one of my favorite poses. There's such freedom, connection, it's a coming home. Stay here or inhale, plank. Chaturanga all the way to the earth. You can always pause before the earth. Some people need that extra moment. Hands sweep back, feet. Shalabhasana. This time though, instead of going to Cobra, you're going to melt down, pillow the hands all the way to the earth. Prema Bhumikasana. And I just want to shout out to, I did this class last night on astrology, and my teacher, Sienna Sherman, is her teacher, and it's so sweet. And anytime I do Prema Bhumikasana, it's just a great honoring of that lineage. Who have been the great teachers of your own life? Who have helped you on the journey of your experience on earth? And can you allow your heart to beat for them in these next 3 breaths? And then inhale, bring your gaze back to the center, hands under your shoulders. Cobra or upward dog is up to you. Inhale, opening the heart, 3 breaths here. And those last 2 breaths are going to be the reverse chaturanga up into that table or plank, then downward dog. Slowly walk your feet forward. Find both feet beneath you and bow. 5 breaths, Ardha Uttanasana. Find length in the spine. So notice how heavy we feel after doing standing poses. That's the idea. They're foundational poses to help ground us, to heat the body, to help with the tapas, to help with the discipline of the practice. The effort we show up with every day, and all of this is all about that Virgo energy. It's all about being of service.
That's all yoga is how do we be of service? Last one. Coming back to your breath. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bend the knees, huddle pose again. Some of you are so smart, you might know where I'm going. Pull into that midline. Get the physical embodiment, muscles into bones. And as you're holding on to the bones of your being, allow the bones to be dense, but draw into the core line. So rib cage to hip points. Outer hips are hugging towards the tail. Shoulders are to the back. Hands to heart center. Left elbow, right knee. Feel the connection. Lift into the waistline and then glide the left foot back. Right? Notice how you want to stretch that left heel too far. Plug it in. Wrap that outer hip back. Lunge into the right knee. And then feel that energy of the connection of what you're anchored into expanding. Let the pose be the prayer, right? Let the pose be what you're offering. Inhale, back to the center. Oh, I left something out a little while ago. Sorry. Hands to the... Yeah. Oops, I'll get back to you. It's okay. And my sister is here doing yoga with me, just off camera. Inhale, lift the left leg up like you're doing standing splits meets warrior 3. Draw into the belly. Feel the connection. You can stay in the standing splits meets warrior 3 or bend both knees. Pull the thigh bones in more, realign, and then twist. Right hand goes up. So revolved half moon. Wherever you are in it, breathe into it. And then you're going to bend your left knee. Left foot comes to the ground. Bend both knees. So your right hand's still up if you did revolved half moon. And straighten. Left knee stays bent. Right leg extends. And just twist more into that forward bend. And then we'll exhale. Both hands down. Inhale. Find length. We will reset. Exhale, bow. We'll get that hamstring stretch in before we do that move. So just glide your right foot back like you're coming out of warrior 1. Root the heel, and then inhale, extend the left leg towards straight. It may not straighten. You know, I mean, that's the thing that, like, yoga connects you so much into the inner sensation, right? Anytime you're working with earth energy, you're working with your ability, your physical ability. So that includes feeling, going inward. What's the calf saying? What's the hamstring saying? Exhale, lunge, step it forward, bow. Inhale, find length, huddle pose, okay? Bend both knees, elbows to your thighs. Draw in, pull in, draw into the belly. Feel the connection into that chair form. Maybe your feet need to be together. I always keep a little space in my feet, but maybe your feet need to be together. Hands to heart. Pull into the waistline. So get the ribs to draw into the hips, hips to the point, but then make sure the heart's opening up. The collarbones are wide. Hands to heart. Right elbow into the left knee. Pull into the waist. Look at how much that right knee wants to pop forward. Draw the waistline back. Expand through the roof of the mouth, and then we're going to glide the right foot back. Check in with your legs, your hips, your waistline, your heart. What are you plugged into? What are you anchoring into? Grace to me is the revelatory power, right, of trust and faith. Inhale, come back through the center, hands to the earth. This would have been a good time to do that leg stretch, but now we're going to shift it forward. Right leg comes parallel. So you're in like standing splits meets warrior 3, okay? Pull more into the midline. You're going to mirror the other side. So whatever you chose on the other side, you're choosing again. Expand. So I bent both knees, pulled into my left waistline. Right hand goes down, twist to the left. This is evidence. Physical therapy is working. It's awesome. I'm so grateful. Putting forward the effort, being consistent, being of service to all your body has offered you. We do it every time we come on the mat. Exhale. So you're either gonna, your both hands are under the floor, earth, And you just bring your right foot down, otherwise bend both knees. Right foot comes down, hands stay there. Bending. I don't remember which knee we bend, so do the one that feels better for you. You bend the right knee, twist to the left. So it's just more of an open twist after being in a really closed twist. Exhale, both hands to the earth, extend through both legs, which requires you to push into the ground more with the right foot. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Bend both knees, elbows to your thighs. This is just to reset the root chakra and the sacral chakra. It's to reset the way we're standing on our own 2 feet and our place of passion in the womb of our center. Reorienting towards it, honoring it, hands to heart center. Feel that veracity, and then inhale, rise up standing. Stand in your light. Hands come to heart center. 5 breaths just standing here, standing in your strength, your capacity to navigate change, to change the habits, the patterns, so we can be more adaptive. Starting with ourselves, seeing the passion within and seeing through the lens of compassion for yourself and one another. We're going all the way to the earth. Actually, we're gonna bring the big toe mounds together, okay? You're gonna have a little space in the heels of your feet. Hug into that midline, push the palms together. Inner thighs are moving back, outer hips are hugging in, sit bones are drawing into the tail, tail's anchoring. Rib cage is anchored, but the heart is expansive. Arms stretch up. I have my last 3 fingers interlaced, index finger pointed, thumbs crossed. Hug into the midline and rise up onto the balls of the feet. Just feel that steady. You're like perched on a ledge. And then you're going to pull the knees together. You can thank Bikram for this awkward moment. Bend the knees, thighs go back, arm bones plug in, pause halfway, breathe into it. Notice how dense your body is and how much it takes to allow for that change. And then come all the way down. We're going to come all the way seated. So it doesn't have to be pretty. Come all the way seated. Right leg's going to stretch out. Left knee opens out to the side. So you're in, it looks like a tree pose, but you're sitting down, right? Hips are grounded, drawn to the belly. Inhale the arms up. Find that connection and then bow over the right leg as much as you can. So I placed that support under my thigh because I'm still working with that hip injury. So adjust your foot, right? I am a teacher of going down and in to embody versus controlling to go up and out. It takes both. But you have to know your body and the relationship to your infrastructure so you can connect to your own agency, which is what the root chakra is all about. It's what we're grounding into. What can happen though is ego can take over. So we want to call in our higher selves. Big full breath in. Exhale all the way out. Ground into the earth, find length. Inhale, rise up. You're going to bring that left ankle and rest it on top of the right thigh. Hands lean back. So you're in a little bit of a Dandasana with one leg, shoulders into the back, bend the right knee. Shoulders to the back, lift through the heart. The balancing we did on one foot obviously woke up the outer line, the peripheral line of the legs. So we want to release a little bit of that fire without being overly aggressive. Keep the heart lifted, extend
extend the right leg long, but move the right leg across the midline slightly, and then cross the left leg over top of the right. We did eagle legs, so if you want to come into full cow legs with both knees bent, it's all yours. I'm going to keep the right leg extended. Bring your hands to the eye of your left knee. So the soles of your hands are in the eye of the left knee. Feel the left thigh bone pulling more into the hip socket, and then just rock from sit bone to sit bone. So you're helping the thigh bones plug in, not by pulling the flesh and muscle off of the bone, but actually just digging more into the hip socket and noticing the relationship of the experience inside. And it may be too new that it doesn't make sense, or maybe it just helped you settle. Wherever you are, elbows go wide, find length in the spine, and you're gonna bow over the knees. Your hands may come to your shin bone, they may come to the feet, they may go wide, like gecko arms with the elbows lifted. Meet yourself where you are, follow the guidance of your breath, and breathe into the essence of you. Exhale out completely, find length. Inhale, come all the way up. I know this is a long seated flow. Left foot's gonna come to the inner thigh. You're gonna pick your hips up and then open them out to the side. Right, so now you're at an angle. I feel it, you might feel it. This is the first thing other than tree pose we've done to really open into the inner thigh. So acknowledge how much we've been in the periphery and just hugging to the midline, and not really tapping into the currents of our inner lines, the inseams of our legs, the inseams of our arms. So you're gonna ground the hands down behind you, check in with your rib cage, hip points, rib cages are aligned. Get both sit bones heavy, feel the lift, and then you're just gonna bow in between both knees. Maybe, I can't fold all the way forward, so if you can fold forward, amazing. Doesn't mean life is any easier for you right now. It just means you can release more into the stretch. Meet yourself where you are. Come back to your center. Shoulder blades are to the back. And then let the heart melt. Tail's anchored. But continue to feel the length through the crown of the head. Exhale out completely, ground into the earth. Inhale, come all the way up. That right knee is gonna bend. So you're standing on the right foot. You're gonna bring the right foot all the way over top of the left knee. I'm doing the twist after forward bends for a reason. Because some of us forward bends slowing down and going inward can agitate. So we're just pulling the twist in here now. Hips are grounded, spine's long. Finding the twist that serves you. I'm gonna go left elbow to the outside of my left knee, lots of length. I'm bringing the palms of my hands together, so no weight in my right hand. Hands are pushing together, elbows are widening, and just finding the length through the spine. It may not be accessible for you. So rather than force yourself, work with the opposing energies and meet yourself in a relationship that allows your breath to be of service. That allows your breath to reach into those areas that feel restricted and feel supported by the areas that are expansive. Inhale, come all the way back through to the center. Uncross the right leg. You're going to stretch the right leg to the short edge of your mat. It is in line with your right hip. Your left hand's gonna reach out to the other short edge of your mat. Hands ground down. You're gonna lift your hips up, so you're standing on your right foot, you're pushing into your left shin. Stretch the right arm by your ear. And just feel that big stretch through that whole right side body, that whole right line. And then exhale, both hips come to the ground. Turn towards the right foot, stretch the left leg out long. Find both sit bones. Right foot to the left inner thigh. So we're gonna do head to knee, Janu Sirsasana, keeping the hips square. Sometimes people do need to torque their left foot forward more and the right hip back more, but I still wanna make sure you're pulling into the pelvis, into your roots, grounding both sit bones. Find length, inhale, arms go overhead. I don't usually do forward bends this way, but I am today. Draw in and then bow. Maybe the hand just comes to your shin, maybe it comes to the sides, maybe the hands find the foot. Nothing to prove, just breathe. Forward bends are good for our digestion. We're massaging the inner layers of the viscera. The viscera feeds our intuition. It's how we can stay anchored in grace. We can trust in the fact that the universe has our back. We are fully supported. So we breathe, allow the breath to serve us, allow our bodies to serve us so we can serve humanity. I sound like such a yoga teacher right now. Exhale out completely, ground into the earth, find length. You're gonna inhale, open up. Once you rise, we're gonna open that hip up. So your butt actually comes off, oh shoot, no, I knew I was gonna forget something again. Right ankle on top of your left thigh. Hands come back behind you, bend the left knee. This would not be fun if we forgot this one. Maybe you wanted to forget it, but it shows up in our low back. And when there is a lot of change happening, as one of my astrology mentors, Glo, would say, you got water under your feet. Right now we just got earth rippling, changing, quaking under our feet. That we want to really feel supported in the places that we're vulnerable. Nice, I didn't make you go into full double pigeon. It's not accessible to me right now. We don't need to go that far into it. Stretch the left leg out, right foot comes in, and then open the hips up. So now you're at a diagonal. As soon as I opened up my right knee, my left inner thigh said, holy moly. So just honor that. Can the inseam of the right leg go to the earth? Can the medial part of the leg go down? Can the peripheral part of the leg, the inner and the outer lines, anchor into the earth? Find length and then just hinge at the hips, tail's heavy. Thighs are plugged in, arms reach forward. Perhaps you can bow all the way to the earth. If so, let the earth also hold you. Otherwise, bow only as far as your inner thigh allows. Feel the rhythm of you. I left something out again, isn't that hilarious? Exhale out completely, ground into the earth. Inhale, come all the way up. We just adapt. We pick up as we come up. We bring that right leg all the way back across. It just messes up my flow. I'm human. Right leg comes across. Both hips are grounded. Find length. So maybe you go into full cow pose legs, right? With a full cow arms. I'm keeping that leg, bottom leg straight. Thighs are pulling back. Right? Hands come to the eye of the right knee. You know why I left it out on this side? It's because this side hurts me more. Plug the right thigh bone in more, anchor the tail, and then bow forward. Move the hands where they can serve you. So that dance of passion and compassion.
It's the dance between being innocent and being responsible. Having integrity, but also allowing collaboration. Sometimes the things we avoid are exactly what we need. Big breath in. Full breath out. Ground into the earth. Inhale, rise up. You're gonna unravel the leg. You're gonna open your right hip. Then you're gonna bend the left knee. Even though I went a different way in the flow, it doesn't feel the same. You may not be seated into the same anchored energy you were in before. So just honor that. Then re-ground. What are you gonna ground into? Both hips are grounded, spine's long. So we're gonna do that seated twist. The left foot has stepped over the right knee, bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Waistline's back, spine's long. Again, you can use the left hand for support. Nothing wrong there. I'm bringing the left hand to the right palm. So hands are in Anjali Mudra, elbows go wide. It's gonna deepen the twist. But it deepens the twist in a way that you can still feel supported along the spine, along our nervous systems. Inhale, come all the way back through the center. Unravel both legs. I'm going to give you choices here. You can do Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide, fold forward. You can do full Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend, or you can do plow pose. Most people don't love plow pose like I do. So I want you to come into the expression that will bring the most calmness to your body, not agitation, not pushing yourself, but actually the place where you can receive and breathe. So for me, that's actually plow pose. For you, maybe it's a forward bend of your choice. If going into plow pose, throat's open, feet may come to the earth, maybe you bend your knees, hands are on the low back. We're not doing a very masculine expression of plow pose or even a very strategizing to make it happen plow pose. Whatever forward bend you're in the one that's tending to the sacred flame of you. So you can make those connections in your life. 5 breaths. If you're in a seated forward bend, you're going to exhale all the way out. Breathe into the back body. And inhale, come up. If you're in plow pose, you're going to keep your head on the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. If you're coming out of plow pose, pause with your knees over your chest. Bend your knees and come into a reclined child's pose. If seated, lower yourself down vertebrae by vertebrae and come into that supine pose. Knees come into your chest. Get the tail heavy, head heavy. And just drink from the nectar of your practice. There's so much healing when we allow ourselves to lie on the earth. To truly feel supported, the earth rising up to meet you. And as you feel held, notice how your system can settle. Maybe you need one more twist, but watch the patterning, watch the habits. Otherwise, feet come to the earth, legs walk out long. Look at obstacles. Once you find your length, adjust and rest. So because as I record this, and you can find the void happens anytime. But in the live moments, the energy that has the biggest influence on us of the skies above is the moon. It's the closest to us. It spins with us. It's on our axis and orbits naturally around each of us. It's in the place where it's not in conversation with any of the other entities of the heavens. So it's the time to go reflect. However, this is also that time in our practice that we go and we just allow for the assimilation. We honor all that has been. Sure, we didn't do everything. There's always more. But as we're in service, we can serve into our systems, our wholeness, all the parts of our being, and allow ourselves to be held. Let the head get heavy, the jaw. Give yourself the extra added support you need. And breathe so your awareness moves to the back of the chest, the bottom part of your lungs, the base of your rib cage. You're not going to push your ribs into the ground, but let your awareness, allow your gaze, your drishti, go inward, and allow that light of your center to illuminate the back body. And allow the earth to support you, to hold you. This is the moment in our practice where those underlying energies that are subtle or nuanced or unknown, unconscious, or even in our subconscious can feel seen and supported and nourished so that vitality can return. The renewal can rise. Just as you are, enjoy your breath in. And allow for the exhalation. Just as you are, acknowledge the inhale that rises up inside of you. And the exhale that helps you ground more deeply into the truth of you. With each breath in and each breath out, noticing how much is being asked to shift, to change,
to reawaken, to rise back up, and feeling that energy within reaching all the way out to the edges, all that's been digested, all that's been assimilated. Moving with kindness and compassion, feel the igniting, the renewal as you wiggle your toes and your fingers. Allow your head to sway from side to side. Bend both knees and feel your 2 feet on the ground, that the ground is there for you. Let the back adjust, let the system settle just even a little bit more. And then bring the knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug. Nothing too intense, but embrace that energy of you that is so refined and delicate, but brilliant and powerful. Then roll over to one side and feel how much this moment is that call to rise, to sit back up, to bring forward your own gifts. Then slowly inhale into the seat that serves you. Let the hands come to your own heart, and then come back to your roots, to your hips, to the ground beneath you. That the ground is hard and firm, yet soft and supportive. Feel that strength in your own being and the expansion of your own light. And my hope that is that your heart has been invoked in a way that you can feel more settled in the wholeness of you and bring your gifts more to the surface. So straight from my heart to each of yours and all of yours, namaste. So another virtual yoga without distractions of my littles, which is sweet, which means I can get a little more poetic because I'm not distracted. And however this found you, live, replay, on the side, however, I thank you for tuning in. And that really the greatest wisdom we can use from yoga right now is how do we not so much be love, but be in that truth of ourselves and allowing other people the room for their truth as well. And our yoga gets us grounded into that grace. So we can remember that so much is happening to so many, and you happen to have a practice that serves you so that we can be of greater service to one another. And since I'm in that yoga teaching dialogue, I'll end there and peace out until next time.